Yeah. Uh-huh. Salute. Hey, look, check this out. It's your guy, Drip. We back at it again with another conversation with Drip. And this time what I want to talk about is Success Junkie, the brand, right? I want to give y'all the game on what it takes to build a successful brand, how Serita Love took Success Junkie, the brand, how she built it up and how she rose to the top. And what I mean by top, how she rose to the peak performance in her own life. So I want y'all to take the game on the good things she did, and as always, I'm gonna get a perspective on where she can go wrong at so y'all can learn from her experiences as well. So let's get to it. All right, so first off, again, I mentioned, a little bit about her. For those who don't know, I'm gonna get in more detail. For those who don't know, the person behind Success Junkie is Serita Love. Serita Love, I think she's 38 some years old. She almost touching the 40 ball. She is a mother, ex-wife out of Chicago, Illinois. Uh, Retired from corporate America, and now she started her own. She's now a brand coach. Now she's pivoting to the matchmaking space. So not necessarily pivoting. She's still doing brand building, but she's building off that, right? She's adding the icing onto her cake, which is matchmaking. So what she's going to be doing is she's going to be doing more middleman work. Because, she said branding is cool, helping people build brands, stuff like that. But she tapped into another gift, which is matchmaking. So for all the people who come to her for entrepreneurship and stuff like that, she's going to be helping them build more connections and stuff like that. So she found another lane. She found the need, filled the need, and she gonna charge a fee. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically who she is. Her nickname is the corporate thug. She started out living the thug life. She was out in the streets, out there in the O Block area, on the south side of Chicago, not necessarily O Block, but certain parts of Chicago. She started out in the streets, dating different drug dealers and stuff like that. She grew up in an abusive home, and then she rose her way to the top. You know what I'm saying? She got her own interesting story, but at the same time, it's just like another story, another rags and riches story. So there's more so in a deep dive about who she is. So I want to tell you like some of the things that how she rose to the top, right? She hit her hardship early. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't know now that she's finally getting the recognition for her work. It took her 14 years, 14, 15 years to actually get it up off the ground. That's a long time. Like, first off, that's a strong woman. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a long time to be getting a lot of no's. A lot of times, they even got the statistic going around where people won't make it past 5 years in business. Sometimes now it's probably getting lowered to the first 3 years in business. And for her to actually do it 14 years and get a lot of no's throughout that process, and people didn't believe in her, people canceling on meetings, or people not trying to book full price, and she got to deal with all the hardships early, 14 years not having no money coming in. She got a son, and at the time she had a husband that she had to feed, right? That could be like very heartbreaking to somebody, and everybody can't endure that. So she hit that hardship early because throughout that process you learn how to get better, you learn how to grow, you get smarter, right? Because it's just one of them situations where you take so many losses, you get tired. So it builds your ambition up too, as well. So that's what one thing she did right to help her rose to the top was she hit them hardships early and she didn't give up. So that could be a lesson for anybody, regardless if it take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, in her case, 20 years, 25 years. It don't matter. As long as you get there, you get it. That's all that really matters. Now, you can throw a little shade at it if you want to, kind of be a critic and be like, well, she wasn't doing this before the social media era because doing this now we're in the social media era, so it's kind of harder. It's really no excuse to not have a successful being with the social media era, but it's kind of harder too at the same time because you got more people to the left and right of you, and you got all these different expectations and stuff like that, and then you compare yourself, and like they say, comparison is a thief of joy. So you got more distractions with social media, right? But on the flip side to that is she did this in the era without social media. She's been building it in the background before social media came into play. So she already been in the trenches before then. So it wasn't just social media. So that's how she was able to rise to the top. And another thing she did smart when she rose to the top is she bootstrapped, meaning she had a job and she used that money to fund her business, right? Because she ain't just jump off the porch like some people do and rely solely on her business. That ain't necessarily what she did, especially for 14 years. That's a long time to be not making money, relying on unemployment, especially to feed your kid. You was probably like, now she was young, but like you a single person, you ain't got no kids and you ain't got no boo thing or no husband or wife or friend with benefits and nothing like that on your side. We have to pay for it money. Then it ain't the it ain't the easiest rites of passage to do that. Like I said, if you single, you can do that, but if you're not in her situation, you can't afford to just not have no money coming in when you got mouths depending on you every time you come home. So she bootstrapped her business. So what she did was she took that money and was able to pay her bills, make sure everything's straight, and then boom, she doing the side, she was able to pay or fuel her business with the extra additional income. And also, she had a husband. So that was another thing that helped. And I ain't telling people to go get married and get in a relationship they not ready, but she utilized her situation to the fullest. She knew how to fully maximize. Her husband was bringing in his income, so he had his income. They making money, so it's keeping the lights on and keeping food on the table. And she had enough wiggle room to be able to go pursue her dream. And it probably would have took her longer if she was a single mom, because she would have been putting all her money and trying to fuel the entire household and the kid. So it probably would have took her just a little bit longer. So that's the main thing for those who working a job and stuff like that. Some of y'all probably don't want to be there, but use that money to fund your business. So another thing, right? She has a high network. She got a lot of connections where she got a lot of good relationships with people where she needs something done. All she needs is a phone call and maybe a couple negotiations, probably 2 or 3 meetings, and the paperwork can get signed. It ain't no 4, 5, 6 meetings. She can probably get the paperwork signed within 2 to 3 meetings. So even though she have a hot network and she make less money than them, they still accept her in her network as if she did. Why? Because she helped build some of their brands. She builds like a lot of major corporations brands, especially on the corporate side. Starbucks, that's one of them that I can think off the top of my head. But y'all can do the research on them. She got it posted of all the corporations that she helped. Starbucks is just one of them I can think off the top of my head. I think a lemonade company, Minute Maid, probably reached out to her, right? And even if she didn't do work with the corporations directly with helping some of their brands, somebody else from her umbrella did it, and she can say that too. I know that for a fact. So she helped. Hey, it's one of them things. She scratched their back, they scratched her back. So that's a good way where you can get accepted into somebody's network is if you can solve their problem. A lot of y'all, again, it's only 1% of them. So they know you're not finna just go dollar for dollar with them, or euro to euro with them, or peso with them, or yen to yen with them, or baht to baht with them. They know y'all can't do that. But what y'all can do is solve their problems. And then if you can solve their problems, it's a lot easier to get in their network. And 9 times out of 10, if they see you solving problems, they may help you move up. And it may be a less strenuous process. You may not have to make an investment of 10 bands, 20 bands, 30 bands, and let's take it to a higher language, right? 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Nah, they may be like, no, scratch that. I want you to come to my niece's birthday party, and I want to introduce you to this guy, and I want you to get his number, and they could do a connection that way. Yeah, and she can go through a less process because why? She found a business and she was able to utilize her services to solve her high network individuals' problems. And another thing will make her network so special is she's versatile. She just ain't networking with uh, a public speaker or something like that. She got network with math teachers. She got network with schools. She got network with different type of corporate Americans. She probably got network with some people in the streets, even though she probably ain't gonna come out publicly and say that. But people like that, they got their ear. They won't make it this long without having somebody where they can keep their ear to the streets to stay up on game. So they got that. Authors, uh, everyday workers. She probably got even young teenagers in her network. And you may say, why you need a teenager in your network? Well, if she's a brand and building identity, right? She got speakers in her network, and she need teenagers to be able to understand the lingo that go on. So if she has speakers saying, hey, they want to go speak to the schools or help the community, she understand the lingo. They didn't give her the nickname corporate thug for nothing. So her network is very versatile, and she understand how to use her gift of gab to get her what she want ethically. Because some people they got to give gab and they use it for evil, you know what I'm saying? But for her, she know how to use it for good. And then not only, I'm gonna tell you another reason why she winning, right? Not only is she a brand coach, she's a connector, and she's starting to display that more and more, starting to bring it to the limelight because brand coaching is good, but her other gift, like she mentioned several times, is connecting, aka the success matchmaking or whatever you call it. So now, people who the aspiring entrepreneurs or even entrepreneurs who are successful, right? One thing they always had is saying that go around, your network is your network, right? So she found a lane, and this is real smart. She found a lane where she turning like the dating app into an entrepreneur app. So it's a lot of matchmaking and stuff going on. So the 6 degrees of separation is gonna be tightened up a lot more. So if y'all working with Sabrina, y'all actually lucky in a way because like y'all ain't gotta really do super hard networking. Y'all really don't. Y'all still may have to network, but y'all ain't gotta do super hard network, especially when you got a co-signer like her who've done a lot of uh, work and got a good face card with people. Now I mentioned that before, like with the whole dating. I don't know if y'all saw the episode yet because that video was pre-recorded, but I did an episode or how um, young men can pull older women. It may come out before this, it may not. It may come out. But basically, one of the things I talked about was if you have your women who could co-sign you in front of a woman that you like, she's gonna be much more likely to go out on a date with you. It's the same thing in the business world. So if she got all these different connections in her network and stuff like that, and you're an aspiring entrepreneur and she co-sign you, then it's a lot easier to get in them doors and get what you need to get rather than just the cold approach. Because sometimes the cold approach, they'll tell you you can network, but sometimes the cold approach hard. They don't tell you about all the times where you gotta send out emails, 100 phone calls, you gotta show up and see their face 3, 4 times a year, and sometimes it may take 7 years before you can get some on and shaking with somebody. But if you got somebody like Serita in your network, they'll move on impulse. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, Serita, she stepped you. Success Junkie stepped you. I bet we'll give them a chance." You know what I'm saying? And I can speak for that person, like, and she'll stab you. But however, you gotta have your stuff correct because, you know, if she like you, she'll believe you. She'll tell you she rock with you, but she don't want to put her face card out there like that on the line, and she know that it's a chance that you could jeopardize it. And she'll help you too. If you need some help with whatever you got going on, she'll help you get to that point if she really rock with you. And then another thing that really helped her stay at the top of her game, right? She's a community activist. So not only is she working because there's 3 markets. You got B to C, business to consumer, and then you got B to B, business to business, and then B to G, business to government, right? She's not necessarily working the B to G market, but however, right, she working that B to B market, business to corporations, but she tapped into another market, business to consumer. Now she may not, activist ain't necessarily a business type thing per se, far as seeking profit. But however, she is seeking greater relationships because of the community. So the community, when she do good with the community, we're gonna treat her right because she living there and stuff like that. It's all types of benefits and incentives that she can get in the community. Like she stay in Chicago, don't get it twisted. So you don't know, like if she done Pookie or Ray Ray look, TT or Mimi, Quee them a favor out there and got them out of jail, and now they saying, hey, if you need some or somebody mess with you from the other block, call us and we'll handle it on the low. Or she money to this college out there in Chicago, and they tell you know what, instead of your son coming to our college and paying full price that you've been donating to us, we'll give your son at least 10% off. We'll give him free lunch, or we'll name a hallway after you. Yeah, so when you being an activist, I ain't saying do it for reward, but her being an activist, doing it strategically, it can give you incentives and it gives you benefits. But most importantly, right, it just keeps your face card clean, and then it does something to you. It just make you feel better. So that's another reason why she at the top, because even if she do fall off from the corporations and the corporations say, you know what, we found a better coach and stuff like that, she still got the community that'll stamp her. So she can go right back in the B2C market like it ain't none and pick up where she left off. And then the other thing too, right? Here's another reason why a lot of people, like, she could be a good role model for like a lot of women too. Not only was she, in the streets and stuff like that, she's a family woman too. Like she been in that situation where she had a husband and in a good relationship. She been in a situation where they divorced and still in a good relationship. and then she got a son. They got a good relationship. So she been in them shoes and a family woman. So now when you're a family person, you you have to think outside of yourself. So it builds a much more compassion side to you. So now she can take that same thing to a business, right? And when she dealing with people, she can outside of herself, right? As far as, oh, I gotta make this amount of money and stuff like that. She's more so focusing on you becoming the better you. And if you become the better you, that's gonna help her become great. So that's another reason why having a family actually makes her successful, because it makes her much more compassionate. And then another thing too, what helps her like stay sharp is her voice, because like I said, she's been in various different spaces, and then she out in community, so she can be touched, so people can like reach out and get in contact with her. Now, even though now she's tightening down on that, you know what I'm saying? She be changing the numbers and flopping on different social media accounts every other month and stuff like that. And she barely read her emails and stuff, so it may be hard to get in touch unless you actually pay for the time. But she been in so many different like scenarios. Like I said, she been in the street. She done date the dope dealers and drug dealers. She been in the drama between O Block and this other hood, or Chief Keef and Lil JoJo B. She been between all that, and then she been in the courtrooms as an employee and as a partner for them. So she understand both sides, and she got a high network, and then she got a low network. So she been on both sides, from the consumer perspective and an entrepreneur perspective. She been a mother, so she know what it's like to raise a family and come home from being an entrepreneur and being a work, and then turn around and got to be a mama. And then also she, was a wife too, so now she know what it's like. Oh, she got to come home, and then she got to lay up on her husband, make sure the bath water ran, and cook and clean and do all the stuff or whatever her role was in the house, and make sure she helped her husband be accountable for his roles too as well, and staying focused on making sure their child need with an S is met. So she, like I said, she been in various different spaces throughout her life. So that's what makes her sharp. I keep telling y'all, like, sometimes people tell you that a person who do multiple different things is the master of none. But one thing it does give you is great storytelling, and it can give you a lot of different perspectives on stuff. And when you figure out how to tap into that and use it to your advantage, especially within her space, like, you can get a lot more done. Now, like, so them like seven good things, or six good things she did that help her rose to the top. But I'm gonna tell you where she can go wrong. Like any other corporate American person, somebody who in a high profile of public figure space go wrong. Number one, they owe too many favors and they stretch themselves thin. Because sometimes when you in those spaces, it's about doing favors, and favors is almost like having credit cards. So you have credit cards and you over leverage them, and then you get to a point where you over leverage to the point where you may not have enough money to pay it back and stuff like that, then they may come and take your collateral, your credit score go down and stuff like that. It's the same thing with the relationships. When you always asking somebody for a favor and doing this, asking this for a favor, asking this for a favor, then one day, because some people don't always cash in on their favors right away. So when they come in and ask for a favor, she probably over leverage herself and she have to say no. And they gonna be like, dang, like, even just because they got money, right, don't mean they don't have feelings too. They gonna be like, dang, like, you always come and asking me for something. And they may not say it out loud. They gonna be like, dang, you always come and ask me for something. But when I need something, you can't do it. And then the other part to it is, when you do too many favors, you stretch yourself too thin, and you become stressed out, because now you don't want to tell them no, because you don't want to burn their relationship. So now you're trying to meet all the obligations. You may have four different favors that you gotta do at one time, and now you're stressed out. And them favors could be anything. So it could be one, she gotta go uh, put some money up in this investment. One on me, she gotta go take somebody kid to school, or the other one could be, hey, she gotta go feed the homeless. These just some examples, right? But then they may say, hey, we need this done by 10 o'clock. We need the other one done by 10:30 a.m. And we need the other one done by 10:45 a.m. And if we don't get this done by the deadline, we gonna be in trouble by our other people in our network. And she say, okay, okay. But keep in mind, even though it's say 10 o'clock, 10:30, and 10:45, you be like, okay, that's 30 minutes and 15 minutes away. But you gotta keep in mind, one thing is on one side of town, the other thing's on the other side of town, the other thing's on the other side of town. And now she like, dang, I don't even know how to get it done. And then when you don't get it done, you mess up, you still gonna make yourself look like a fool, because they're gonna be like, dang, why you ain't say nothing? So it could be a lose when you do too many favors for people. Then the other thing is when you get away from what you to the top. Now, a lot of times when people do rise to the top, they want to pivot. They want to do something else. They want to do something for a change, right? Which is cool. But a lot of people don't understand. You got to focus on the traits, not necessarily what you did, as far as the idea or the brand, but focus on the traits that got you there. Even especially from the consumer perspective, they be like, oh, like why he changed up and stuff like that. Nah, he didn't necessarily change, or she didn't necessarily change up. They just wanted to do something different. But the people that want to do that change, especially for her or anybody else that's watching, right? When you get away from your brand, like one thing you got to think about your brand. We finna talk about the Success Junkie brand. The Success Junkie brand is based off of is really based off relationships. So that's one of her skills is building relationships and matchmaking with people and stuff like that. That's the trait that she got to keep riding with. That'll get regardless of the spaces that she want to pivot into or not. The traits, not necessarily what she did, as far as hey, I got a Success Junkie brand, but the traits. See, a lot of people when they get away from the brand, which is cool. You can get away from the brand as long as you want. You can rebrand yourself as many times as you want. But if you were successful with your brand, you develop a certain traits that came with your brand. And if you get away from the traits that you had to into something totally else, it's gonna be a hard time for your audience to adjust to you. And then that's when people start not engaging with you. Your sales go down and stuff like that. And then you start just trying new stuff and it don't work out, and then you be on the verge of hitting rock bottom, all because you didn't stick to them traits. And so the other one is, right. She not protecting, she not protecting herself from no demons. And it's a lot of y'all corporate American women that ain't even trying to protect yourself from demons, man. Like you stay, and I know you're watching this, Serita. You stay in Chicago, Illinois. And some of y'all other women stay in Chicago, Illinois too. A lot of y'all do. Jade, Claudia, Serita, Erica, Angel. And there's a couple of others that I follow. And y'all gonna see this video. There's a couple of y'all follow. I know I ain't get y'all name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. But y'all, like some of y'all 40 years old. No, y'all just thinking about getting the gun license. Y'all think just now thinking about getting a gun? No. That's too long. That's too long to be taking a risk like that, especially when you in Chicago. See, and maybe she was gun told like, and people didn't know it and stuff like that. Who knows? That ain't really our business to tell, like, or try to find out and stuff like that. If she do, hey, you do what you do, right? But to be talking about, hey, I seen on the lives, you talking about, I'm gonna get my gun license soon. That's too long. You almost 40 years old and just now getting strapped. That's way too long. You stay in a city full of demons. You stay in a city full of demons. So I'm gonna tell you this, Serita, Angel. Oh, I butchered your name. I accidentally called you Claudia, but I meant Catherine. Catherine, like, see, I'm explaining to y'all, and I'm not just targeting them. Them just the ones I know personally. But anybody else watching this, like I said, y'all can learn from this a lot. But it's a difference between demons and monsters. It's a big difference between demons and monsters, right? So your demons are the ones who like just the typical street dudes. Them the ones, the gun tone, pistol tone dudes, the fentanyl selling, the meth selling, uh, domestic violence. Yeah, I mentioned drug selling, gang banging dudes. Them the typical demons, the ones that just commit typical crime. Then you got your monsters is the ones like Ted Bundy. It's another one, Brian. I think his name Brian Chasey, where he's putting bodies in barrels. And then you got the other guy recently. Y'all could look him up. Earlier this year, or last year, they found like 12 skeleton heads and spines buried under his house. And then you had another one recently that was a police officer. He was over here using his power and he abusing like the women, right? Or a monster could be somebody like what's a movie? Think about 13 cameras, where the dude had 13 cameras built in the house and he was watching the women. Or another one is a child trafficker or just a trafficker in general, like human trafficker, like he sell the body parts. And then another example is a sex trafficker, or the ones, what's the other ones too? The ones that's carnivores. They had one recently too, carnivores. Like some people like to eat humans. Like them the ones who are actual monsters. Or let's say I'm gonna give you one more example, right? The other ones who like truck drivers, they go on the road intentionally just to find lot lizards and stuff like that and get them in the car just to kill them. They trick them into thinking that they want to link up with them, but they just turn around and just only want to kill them. Them your monsters. Or the ones who sick and intentionally pass around disease. Them your monsters. See, you in Chicago, so like you probably ain't gonna. There's probably is always that one. So you probably got somebody out there that's capable of being a monster, but for the most part, you got demons out there, and y'all just like y'all don't be paying attention. Like, and I'm pretty sure again, so, Sarita's a smart woman. A lot of y'all are smart women, so y'all know how to avoid this for the most part when you're dealing with demons. But demons could change their color too. Hey, it's some smart demons out there. All demons ain't dumb. And all demons ain't unidentifiable. So I'm gonna give you an example how they not identifiable, right? You could have a demon. You could have a demon, right? He could be a regular working dude, but then at nighttime, he back grinding on the streets and stuff. And so you meet him, and he talking to you. You meet him out in public, and he may go to a networking event because he like, you know what? I'm thinking about opening up a business. Because I'm trying to get out of the street. He really ain't trying to get out the street, but he just floating the idea of trying to have his business up off the ground. He don't know what it is. So he may go to a networking event or, he make a lot of money off the streets and he have a, somewhat of a decent job. So he making some money there and he like, I'm gonna go eat at an expensive restaurant one day. And then he see you. So he may see you looking good. You got your tight dress on. Your dress come above your knees. Your legs well oiled. You ain't got no ashy heels or no ashy Achilles. And you got them high heels on. So every time you walk, the noise, you hear that sound. Your calf muscles showing, and your stomach, you ain't got no big heavy stomach. And then when you walk by, you smell good. Your hair did. And then when you walk past him, he eating good, but he look at you and he like, dang, shorty, they're bad. And you know how they be thinking, I get it to her. That's the lingo right there. I get it to her. And or some of them, they may not even be attracted to you. They'll be like, she got a cute smile. Her body look good. Or, let me give this example. I kind of messed up with that. They may say, I ain't really attracted to her, but she got a cute smile. I ain't really attracted to her like that. She not really my type. But today she got a ham though. For those who don't know ham, you know ham? What I mean by ham, or ham or peach. Or they'll be like, dang, she ain't cute to me, but she got personality though. And see, and then you got them demons that try to justify it. So what happens is they'll walk up over there, they feeling good, they got a little money in their pocket, they pull their pants up temporarily. Um, and then sometimes they may be high off the pills, so that's the only time they is confident to talk to you. They high off the pills, or they watch you for a minute and they see how long you sit wherever you at, and they'll go to the car and fire up a blunt real quick just to get high a little bit, then spray their mouth out so you can't smell the blunt, and then they'll come walk up and try to talk to you and stuff like that. And then, they be like, I'm thinking about starting a business too. And you gonna be like, oh, really? And so soon as they saw you opening up to that, cause that's your lane. That's what you do. That you in the serving people business. So they gonna use that to their advantage. And then they gonna come up, they gonna be like, dang, I got it. Cause when you had that conversation up like that, and if they position like that, 9 times out of 10, you probably gonna talk to them. Then what happens is, right, now they fell in love with you. So I'm gonna give you what will happen next. Then that's when, and it's just one specific type of demon, right? So then, he a little bit more serious than the other Pookies and Ray Ray. See what the difference between this guy and the other Pookie and Ray Ray? This is Mr. Pookie, Mr. Ray Ray. So Mr. Pookie, right? You cool with him. You tell him come meet me at the office. Let's sit down and discuss your business and how I can help you. And now he not even really coming for the business, right? He coming just to get a nut off. Now he probably know he can't get no chance with you far as getting a physical nut. But when he come in that building, he know he finna get a mental nut. It's finna be a good looking building. Cause a lot of y'all stay in them corporate suites and stuff. It's gonna be a good looking building. You got a nice voice. You smell good. You talk intelligent than them. You can say all your words correctly. You can say complete sentences. Then when they come in your office, right? They ain't never had no fruit in their life. So when they see the apples sitting on the counter, they eat 3, 4 apples like they ain't ate in 3 days. And then you over here talking about sending their business up. They going along with it. But they too busy watching you. They fantasizing about you in their mind. Then time you get up and try to answer the door because another legit client came in, they over there staring at your ass. And then when you turn around and look back, they look back down at their phone, acting like nothing ain't happened. So then once you done, they got their little mental nut and stuff like that. They so happy they got their mental nut. Then they go sit in the car. They go sit in the car, and then they wait till you get off work. They wait till you get off work, then they start following you home. So he thinking about becoming a demon because he like, you know what? I want to get this physical nut out. I want to take this chance. So he taking 2 or 3 pills, but he don't really want to cross that line like that. So he following you home, and now he's sitting in the back. He already got your spot, your house and stuff like that. He thinking about he gonna bust in himself or call dudes to run a blitz on you and break in your house and stuff like that. But he not no demon. He ain't really got it in him to go put in all that extra work and stuff like that. So he'll leave you alone. But really, dude, in actuality, he wasting your time because he not even really there. Like this demon, he just a demon in sheep clothing. Like he just wasting your time. He just on there just to get a mental nut off. So y'all ain't, and then you come to find out y'all ain't making no progression at all. Ain't nothing changed about him. And then you kind of start getting creepy vibes from him. He want to start acting a little creepy. Then you got to cut him off. That's demon number one. And then demon number two is you may be out in public. And a lot of times it's always catching you at a certain place, right? You may have this demon, he see you and he holler at you aggressive. You curve him. And then he mad because you curved him and he want to come press up on you. And when he want to press up on you, he want to threaten, he want to fight you, or he may go pay his homegirl to come run up on you and fight you. That's another demon. And then you got the other demon, the one that be around all his other demon friends and stuff like that. Now, he not the one who too crazy to, just take none or, bust in your house, kidnap you. He ain't crazy enough to do all the crazy stalking. He ain't crazy enough to do all that. But he around all his demon friends peer pressure. You could be at the gas station pumping your gas and everybody in the car, they rolling up the blunt. Then you walk by, they look at you, they all giving each other cues and stuff. And they sitting back in the seat. You look, and you can't see nothing, but you hear a bunch of mumbling going. You trying to go pump the gas, and they tell their homeboy, they like, "That's you. Go get that." And so he don't really want to go get that, but you know what he do? He go take 2 of them pills, them perks, or he go put some of that fentanyl in his weed just to dilute his brain because he know he ain't strong enough to just talk to you because they can pick up when you got a good aura too and when you got a strong energy about you. So now he at the gas pump, he trying to talk to you and stuff like that, and then he trying to then he say something out of the way. He be like, "Damn girl, you thick. Damn girl, you fine. Hey, let me get your number." So he just say something weird out the way, and then when you check him, now he getting rowdy, and then everybody else want to come out the car, and then now you got a whole another scene and stuff like that. So basically, what I'm saying is like y'all women, y'all know y'all are in the public figure spaces and stuff like that. Y'all gotta think of yourself the same way in men in this situation that are hot net worth men, right? Everybody gonna want you and y'all are women, y'all gonna attract some of everybody, especially since y'all public figures. Y'all gonna attract good people, y'all gonna attract bad people, y'all gonna attract them demons, y'all need to go attract the monsters. Since you in Chicago, you ain't gotta worry about monsters much, but you gotta worry about the demons always want to come at you because they high, they horny, they bored, or since you a fine woman, to the person who watching this, you fine, they looking at you and they just want you for bragging rights. They just want you for a trophy or they just want you, or they may not even be attracted. They just want you to get the nut off. So like y'all, that's one of y'all reasons how y'all lose because even though y'all think y'all good, what happens is y'all overestimate y'allselves or y'all have wishful thinking and underestimate the opponent. So and at any time the demon can pull up on you and press you, and y'all just out there lacking. Y'all be on your phone when y'all get off work, walking to the car with your head down. Y'all just be doing all kinds of stuff. When y'all go grocery shopping, y'all have both hands full. When y'all pull up in the parking lot, y'all pull in, y'all don't even back in. Like it just be all kind of stuff y'all doing. Y'all just now getting y'all gun license. So that means y'all probably ain't even been shooting. Like y'all ain't even going to the gun range. Go to the gun range. Another one is do y'all can go paintballing. How many of y'all high corporate C level, suite A level women who making $60,000 a year and up actually going to the paintball? Why is the paintball important, Drip? Because when you go to the paintball, that's the only uh environment where it actually simulates you getting shot at. Cause some of y'all smart, y'all go get guns and learn how to, or y'all go get these weapons, the knives, the pepper spray and stuff like that. But when somebody press up on you like a demon or something like that, demons used to shooting. Demons used to putting guns and pistols and stuff in people's faces and getting what they want. But y'all just having the stuff like it's trophies and stuff and not knowing how to use it. Paintball is the only closest thing to actually know what it's like to get rushed up on. So if y'all actually practicing that, y'all know what it's like to actually get close to rushed up on. Y'all do better in certain situations. Y'all won't have to worry about getting got as much. So that's what I'm saying. Like y'all need to do a better job of preparing for the demons. And I may do another video on that if y'all request it and stuff like that, how to protect yourselves from demons and monsters. But y'all got to tighten up out there because Chicago is a beautiful city on the entrepreneurship side, and y'all know how to dodge all that stuff too, like because y'all stay in the beautiful part. But demons smart too. Hey, if they want to get in them parts too, and they really want to, wherever there's a will, there's a way they'll get through. So another one is right, not her, but you could be rich. Like there's another way Serita can go wrong. Other women watching this can go wrong. That's in them positions. You could be rich, and then you live check to check. You making, let's say you making 15,000 a month, right? But your bill's 16,000 a month. So every month you in a negative. You probably overdraft your account several times and stuff like that because you ain't never used to having it as you coming up. So now all the months of not having it, you spend the months where you do have it always overly rewarding yourselves instead of putting it up for a rainy day. Now some people, in the entrepreneurial world or business world, even if you're the corporate American world, or you in some high paying job or you got a decent life for yourself, even if you're in the military, you got a decent life for yourself, right? Some people tell you don't even worry about a rainy day. Figure out a way to have more money where you won't have to worry about a rainy day. You got that perspective on it too, and I ain't knocking it. But sometimes y'all have these high expensive lifestyles for like no reason. A lot of times it's really just to show off to other people, to a bunch of people who ain't got it. But that's gonna be my next point I'm gonna get to. But that's another reason why you can go wrong is you live in check to check because I'm gonna tell you what will go wrong, right? So when you when you when you not living when you living check to check, not only are you not trying to prepare for a rainy day, right? Because you so focused on you think you're gonna be at the top forever, and you never know what may happen. Hey, sometimes your business or whatever you're doing may hit a bottom, and you gotta know how to adapt to it. So another reason why you could go wrong living check to check is, like I said mentioned earlier, how you could be doing people too many favors. The people closest to you, you could be giving them too much. So just because you felt that you ain't never had it, so this your way of just trying to give back. And then that's another way where you can stretch yourself too thin. Uh, you got your son, and I'm talking to not only Serita, but I'm talking to people, but I'm bouncing back and forth. But Serita, you got your son, and your son talking about he need $1,000 here, 2,000 here, 3 racks here. Your cousin, she talking about she need this to invest in the business, or she need this to go pay her car note, or somebody else that's in the streets that you went to school with. He was your ex-boyfriend, and he was your first love. He was the first one to pop your cherry, and he like, hey, I need some bail money. I need 5,000 to come get me out of jail. And then he turn around and say, hey, I want to be your assistant. So now you gotta spend money to get him in a house, get him a car, get his credit back right, or her, whatever your preference is, and try to get them back on their feet. Or then another reason is every day you going out to eat. But when you going out to eat, you can afford you, right? But you buying everybody else. Like I told y'all before, there's a difference between buying and afford. You can afford yourself, but then when you taking everybody else out to eat, you saying, hey, I take it for the team. Every single night, you coming 15, 20 deep, sometimes 6 deep, 5 deep, coming in to some of the best restaurants and reservations, and you paying for everybody. 100 a night, 200 a night, 500 a night, 800 a night. And you saying, oh, it's all good, I got it. And you trying to stun and stuff. That's another reason. Like, that you live paycheck to paycheck is because you shedding out too much money, like going to these different places. Like I mentioned, every dollar is your employee, every euro is your employee, every yen is your employee, right? You want your employees to be successful as possible. You can't be having your employees always having so much leisure time. Like they have way too much leisure time. Your dollar is going here in the other room, it's going in the party room. Your other dollar is going in the smoke room every 15 minutes, stuff like that. You ain't gonna have no success. You ain't gonna have no traffic, right? I ain't saying nothing wrong with taking care of people, right? But too much of anything is a bad thing. And I think you know that. I think you know that. I think some of y'all know that too that's watching. Like y'all know y'all be stretching yourselves too thin. And that leads me to my other point, right? Sometimes y'all get that money and y'all get in them positions really like to prove something. And y'all be a slave. Y'all be a slave to y'all haters hate. Sometimes y'all be a slave to y'all own trauma. Like the purpose of getting to your point is to get away from those issues. But a lot of times, some of y'all be getting in positions back. So that's another reason you can go wrong. Because she probably could have had an ex-boyfriend who didn't believe in her vision, or she could have had a mama and daddy who or uncle, somebody she really loved, didn't believe in her vision. And they told her no, or they talked down on her to the point where it hurt her feelings. And now she to the point where she said, I'm gonna work hard, right? She worked hard, but it's really to get back at them. That's why she got all that money and she trying to show it all the time because she's trying to get back at them. Right. So that's another reason a lot of y'all go wrong because all the people that doubted you or hated you and stuff like that, y'all still a slave to them because anytime y'all working, y'all always thinking about them. Y'all always thinking about the person that did you wrong. I'm not saying don't use that as motivation because, hey, sometimes that's some good motivation. But when y'all already accomplished the mission, y'all be holding on to it too long. Like Serita, you 14, 15, almost 20 years in the game. You can't be holding on to uh, trying to prove somebody else wrong. You already done that. You already won the moment you left. You already won the moment that you left that situation. Why is you still trying to prove these people wrong? And it ain't just a reader too. It's just a lot, and she probably ain't even doing it. But there's a lot of y'all that be doing it. Y'all be holding on too long when y'all already the one. Y'all overkilling. That's what it really. Yeah, that's what it really is. Y'all overkilling. Y'all already done shot the person down. The person already out, or y'all overbeating them up. Y'all already knocked them out. Don't y'all see in professional boxing when somebody get knocked out, the referee gonna step in between and pull the boxer up off of them? They ain't finna just keep letting you just beat on. No, he or she already down. They out. It's done. Why y'all steady trying to go in for overkill? Like learn how to let this stuff go. If you don't know how to let this stuff go, go act. But there could be another video too, because some of this stuff is so deep and so many layers. I can always do multiple videos and stuff on here, somebody requested. Now, the other reason is, and it's the last reason before I wrap it up, is her stomach not touching her back no more. Her stomach not touching her back. Yeah. Serita's stomach not touching her back no more. You can tell by looking at the picture. One kid later. The stomach a little bit pudgy. I ain't saying she fat. She in great shape. But the stomach a little bit pudgy. Yeah. Stomach is a little bit pudgy, Serita. Your stomach ain't touching your back no more. See, today's Serita is different from yesterday's Serita. Yesterday's Serita was on the block. Yesterday's Serita was in a situation where she had 100,000 no's. So when you in that situation, right, you hungry, you starving. Sometimes when you see people a lot of times you see people hungry and starving, that's when they put their best work in. That's when they put their best work in. They put their best foot forward. See, now her stomach ain't touching her back. So you may not see her as aggressive anymore, right? See, right now, she not in aggressive mode. She probably ain't finna be on the phone calling 250 people a day, 250 people a day, having 20, 30 meetings a day, trying to intentionally stretch herself so thin because she trying to hope a play shape, hope something work out because she got mouths to feed. Now she at the point where it's like, yeah, my brand good. I'm at the point where people calling me. I'm the attraction. Going, I'm not trying to search attraction. People are attracted to me, right? So that, and again, that's a double-edged sword because the hungry Sarita can put in the best work, but the new Sarita may not always put in the best work. So like she a speaker, one of them too, she's a speaker. That's one of the things she do on the side. Like you may hear in her voice. See, if you met her like 5, 10 years ago, Serita, she could be hungry. So when she get on stage, you hear her every time she speak on stage, she crying. Or every time she speak on stage, you can hear it sound like she getting angry. She sweating, her stomach thin, her heart rate going up. She can't hardly talk. She can't hardly breathe. She going so hard, they gotta go give her some water. But now when she on stage, she ain't even doing that. She talking about life good. She even smell good on stage. She ain't even sweating no more. The stomach poking out. Her hair did while she on stage. Them teeth done while she on stage. So she look like a whole total different person. I ain't saying nothing wrong with growth. Yes, you supposed to grow. You always supposed to grow, right? But that's where you can go wrong because sometimes when you can walk that fine line with being comfortable and complacent. And right now, she is not complacent at all, but she is at a point where she's comfortable with where she's at, and she's working and stuff like that. But if you're not careful, it's not go for Serita. It's go for all the ones that be around Erica, Catherine, Angel, Jade. What's the other dude name? Dexter. What's the other dude name? Ed. Some of them other board advisors and stuff. They be watching her because I know we follow each other on social media and stuff like that. But and y'all gonna see this video, y'all know being comfortable is a good thing. You're supposed to be comfortable in order to have success, right? But like too much of anything is a bad thing. If you walk that line, you could easily tilt from the left to the right. And in this situation, she could easily tilt to the left side or any side, right? Because left side don't mean it's always bad. I'm left-handed. That ain't the bad side, right? But you could tilt to any side, and it could be the off side, and boom, you become complacent. So yeah, and the other thing is too, like you know, she got more pretty in there. Like Serena fine. And another way stuff can go wrong, how she can go wrong is her health, right? So a lot of times when you in them high network spaces, sometimes you work so hard to get to that point. You get the money, but you don't get the time. So with that being said, she don't have enough time. So now she's not doing the right things for her taking care of her body. She's not sleeping how she used to, right? Or she hadn't been sleeping good in so long because she's been in the game 15, almost 20 years. She hadn't been getting no sleep 15 to 20 years. She hasn't got no good sleep since she got her first interview for a corporate space. She probably ain't been getting no sleep. She drinking a little, she drinking some water, but she gotta drink coffee every morning. She drinking a bunch of coffee just to stay awake. And then a lot of times she always going downstairs to the cafeteria and she always eating fried food. Uh, she eating out all the time because she don't have the time and she not getting checked up with the doctor and stuff like that. So she not catching all the signs that's going wrong with her body. And she may feel them aches and pains here and there, and she'll pop a painkiller or two and they can numb the pain until one day some of her body give out. So that's another way you can go wrong too, because when you become successful, a lot of times we spend so much time chasing money, right? We forget about the health, and then we try to use that money to get our health back, right? But sometimes that money ain't gonna always buy your health, right? Your effort and your attentiveness is what's gonna buy your health, right? So that's another reason where she can go wrong at is not spending enough time prioritizing her health. The other reason is you can become too cocky, right? So especially to the people like your consumers, the people up under you, right? So because she mentioned this too, and she was like, once you get a lot of money and you become successful, whatever you deem success in your life is, it'll change you. What do you mean by that, Serita? What do you mean by that, Serita? It's gonna change you. Are you gonna change just because you made a lot of money? You got a lot of status, as far as in the space that you in, right? See that's a red flag, right? You can become too cocky. Then when you become too cocky, you don't listen to your people and stuff like that, and you start to forget that the people who helped you get to that point, your main supporters, when you forget them, right, you'll still be at the top. But if you burn the relationships at the top, you ain't got no bottom to fall to where they could catch you and springboard you back up. You ain't got that trampoline. You're just gonna be floating in the air, right? So, that's another reason, not just her, but some of y'all can go wrong. Y'all can get too cocky and think ain't nothing gonna happen to y'all. But time y'all go down. The higher you are, the harder you fall. So it's important to make sure you got a trampoline up under you. And then another reason why things could go wrong for, right? Bad friends. And this kind of go along with another version of a demon, right? So you may tell your friend 1,000 yeses. And we obviously heard this story before 100 times, so I ain't really got to talk too deep about this. You tell them 1,000 yeses, they tell you that one no and they hate you, right? And I did a video on this before, why some friends have an end, right? So if y'all haven't watched that video, it's a motivation video. Go back and watch that because I really explain it in the detail. Or the other side, the other side to it is like y'all think that y'all can always spot a jealous spirit. Sometimes you can't always spot a jealous spirit because they're not always jealous starting out. Sometimes jealousy can develop, right? You start to advance and progress in life, and they feel that they stagnant and they go eternal. They go inside their mind and they start thinking to themselves, and then that's when the hate started building up and stuff. So I ain't really gotta go too deep. Go watch the other episode, and if not, I'll probably drop the link somewhere. Go back and watch that, and I get into deep detail about that. But the other side to it is another version of what demon in sheep clothing is like you could have people close to you or you dealing with, like you burn the bridge, but you forget that you got more to lose than them. See, that's why a lot of successful people don't want to deal with unsuccessful people because they so dangerous because they don't have nothing to lose. So it's easy to tear a successful person down rather than an unsuccessful person. Because an unsuccessful person ain't got nothing, right? So I'm gonna put it to you like this, right? So Serita, for example, she doing business with somebody. Let's give it. Let's talk about the high network. She doing business with somebody, and they cool. They got a great relationship, and her son they kids know each other, and one of the kids messed them over, right? And the other family may not be as mature as them, so you know what they'll do? They'll turn around and they may believe they kid do no wrong and stuff like that. So when Sarita gotta go talk to them and stuff like that, they get offended, and what happens is they cut Sarita water off, so they stop doing business with her. So that's another income loss. And then sometimes there's not only the income that with them is lost, other people within the 6 degrees of separation can get affected as well because of small stuff like that, right? Because just because they successful, they just got great talent, right? But then there's some people who could still be demon minded, right? And Sarita couldn't even do it. She probably may not did no. She thought she was doing right, but the other person, they just had ill intentions in the heart. Now they cut her water off. Now let's go to the lower level, right? So you at the lower level and you dealing with somebody and y'all kids know each other and stuff like that. And your kid Sarita kid cut the other kid off. You know what I'm saying? For whatever the reason may be, or they probably got the fight, some reason that led to them not hanging out no more, not having that strong relationship like they did. And it's to the point where it's bad blood. And the other person will sit back and be like, dang. Because a lot of people can't take hurt feelings. So they'll be like, dang, he hurt my feelings. Now I want him to suffer. How can I make him suffer? And then you got some of them dudes out there or women, they'll go after the mama. Then you outside one day, you thinking it's all peaches and gravy, and then somebody roll up on you. That's another form of demon time. Somebody roll up on you, and and your son could be in the right. It probably ain't really too much got nothing to do with him. Again, he thought what he was doing was right, but the other person so evil, they want to see you suffer. And if they can't get to you, some people probably don't even want to get to you. Some people so evil minded, they want to get the people around you that you care about. Like they say in Spider-Man, the very man, Spider-Man 1, he said, what did he say? He said, we don't attack him. We attack his heart. Some people ain't gonna always want to go directly at you, right? Or like in this situation, they ain't gonna want to go at somebody close to you, or like the son or something, your ex-husband. They ain't gonna want to go at them because they know that they probably can't handle them. So what they can do is they gonna go at the heart. That's gonna hurt worse than going at them. Win or lose, that's gonna hurt way worse. So that's another way. And then you doing business with somebody, or you got another relationship with somebody, you work with them directly. The kids ain't even gotta be involved, but you wind up cutting them off, or you putting boundaries in place and stuff like that, and they can't handle it. They get in their feelings, and you know what? They get in their feelings, and they get to send back, and they be like, dang, they can't handle having their feelings hurt, whether it's male or female, and they watching you, and they sitting back plotting on you, and sometimes their feelings will be hurt, but they not gonna always show it. They'll still want to come back around you. Hey, how you doing? How you holding up today? They'll still make it feel like they accepted it and move on. But all it takes is that one moment when you get comfortable. As soon as you get comfortable, they'll be like, hey, come on, let's have dinner. You come over the house, you have dinner with them, or you go out to a restaurant or something, you have dinner with them, you talking to them, you catching up, and they telling you, hey, I apologize for what happened and stuff like that. And you looking at them and they telling you they apologize, but they not looking you in the eye. They looking over their shoulder, they looking to the left, looking to the right, they tap it, they flicking their leg up and down, looking at the phone. And you get this off feeling, some off in the happen. So you get this cold feeling, the chills in the body, then somebody roll up on you. And then they knock you off, and he or she gonna probably act like nothing ain't happened. Oh, they act like they ain't have nothing to do with it, but actually they was the one who orchestrated the play. They was the one who, in some ways, for people who do watch me at the low level, they organize the blitz. For the ones that watch me at the high level setup, for the ones who watch me at the mid level play, the ones who watch me at the low level blitz, run all three turns. They run all three turns, and now you go because of what? Hurt feelings and ego, right? So that's why I'm like, Serita, all y'all for like y'all gotta be watching like these bridges that y'all be burning because y'all got more to lose. Y'all got more to lose because it's more ways to get y'all right. And like I'm saying, like even just because y'all may not deal with certain demographic that ain't got nothing to lose, it's still people who do have something to lose who will still risk it. There's people who still got plenty to lose and still will risk it. Because even if they may not risk it, they'll find somebody else that's around them to risk it for them. You make them mad, or they can't handle having hurt feelings. They go tell their crazy cousin or something. And everybody got somebody in their family who probably told on one point in their life, yeah, I kill for you. I don't care how much money you make or how little that you got. You always got that one person who will go through the brick wall for you, and they'll risk it all. Now whether that's talk or not, again, we not finna like a lot of times we overestimate ourselves, underestimate the opponent. We I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching it had somebody in their family said they'll go through the brick wall for them, and all they gotta do is uh what's it called? Fabricate the story, exaggerate the story, spice it up with the right enough. When you press the buttons good enough, hard enough, and you got that person, and they got that person in the corner that's crazy enough to go hard about them, they'll come see you. And that's another way y'all could lose because y'all ain't y'all got like y'all not being careful about the bridge that y'all burn. I'm not saying don't burn bridge because that's the point of life. Sometimes you gotta burn the bridge, but the thing is how you burn them bridges. If you always burning them bridges explosive and stuff like that, some people gonna explode back on you because some people want their lick back. Everybody don't want to do a fair fight no more. Some people want their lick back, so you gotta be prepared for that. And another reason why she's successful is she's a trailblazer. It's not globally recognized yet, but like she's a trailblazer. Like she got that term corporate thugging for a reason because she created her own table, right? Because typically when they enter in the space of business or whatever the case may be, they feel that they have to be one way or the other, or they have to grow into them ways. She didn't necessarily grow into them ways 100%. She managed to still incorporate Serita personally, it did Serita professionally, and now she created her own tables and she aligned with people who believe in that. And so the reason why she has a lot of support behind her because a lot of people are looking at her like, whew, she doing that? I can pull my tie down a little bit. I can unbutton my shirt a little bit. I ain't gotta always sit up straight no more. Like I could slash down in my seat and still be effective. So like yeah, she a trailblazer. And then that's not only at the high levels, even like at the people who's up and coming because she paving the way for them because she said, hey, like look, you can go sit at the table if you want to. That's cool. But you ain't gotta always go sit at the table. You can create your own table because everybody ain't don't have that corporate mindset like that. Everybody don't. But you can still become successful without being heavily dependent on them. Because a lot of times people think you need like a big bag or something like that. You gotta go corporate. Yes, corporate do have a big bag, but you can create a big bag yourself. And that's what she really showing people. So that's how she a trailblazer. She creating a way for a lot of people who are like her. And that's why her brand is so successful because she like a therapist in a way. She a stress reliever because a lot of times people always it's a heavy crowd, right? And the most push crowd, the most popular crowd is the one who's trying to tell you to go a certain way. And she went a different way. And a different way is just as attractive as the way everybody's trying to go in. So she created a new wave.